Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Noodles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, Drac. How are things going over in Ravenloft?
Not too bad, actually.
Not too bad. All getting ready for next week?
Of course.
Of course. So then let's head into our game news, where we had the release of Update 33, Return of the Night Rebels.
We're not going to talk about this a lot because we've basically covered these release notes already. Nothing changed. But in case for some reason, maybe you've been living under a rock or something, who knows? Update 33 is here. It is on the live servers now. It does bring back the Return of the Night Rebels, hence the name of the update. And that is taking place in Delara's graveyard. We will talk more about that in a bit. Also, the monk updates and changes are in this update. The new deity feats. And then there is some little quality of life changes as well. And like I said, we kind of went over these patch notes before, so not really going to go over them again. If you want to see them all, just click over on the show notes. It'll take you, click on the link, and it'll take you right to the release notes, and you too can read them for yourself.
Ta-da! So therefore, let's then head into our Night Rebels guide, and it tells you everything you need to know about Night Rebels.
It does. Turbine does a great job with doing this every year when the Night Rebels comes back around. And as I said, it does take place in Delara's graveyard. If you're not familiar with how it works, what you do is when you go to enter the Delara's instance, you will pick your level range. There is just a public shared instance. Then there is one for levels 1 to 5, 4 to 9, 8 to 13, 12 to 17, 16 to 20, 20 to 25, and 26 to 30. So you want to pick the one that fits your level range. You go in, monsters will spawn all around the graveyard. You will kill those monsters. They have a chance of dropping either Darkest Chocolate or a Night Rebels key. And that Night Rebels key, you need to get into the dungeons. You cannot enter any of the new Night Rebels dungeons without having a key in your inventory. And good luck getting keys is all I'm going to say.
That bad.
The drop rate is horrendous, at least in my experience it has been.
Oh, yes, but you're Draculetta.
Yeah, see, that's true. It's the whole RNG thing. So, and I was kind of looking on the forums, and I see some people are experiencing what I'm experiencing with key drop rates. Other people are saying they're dropping too often. So I don't know. I guess your miles may vary. I'll put it that way. So then once you have your Night Rebels key, you can enter the dungeons. And you're going in the dungeons to get the ingredients that you need that you can exchange for the Night Rebels items. And there are 2 new dungeons this year that were not here last year. Hey Weird Foundry and Getting Ahead in Lord's March Plaza are the 2 new ones. And then, of course, Harbor Dashed, the Kobold's newest ringleader, the Snitch and the Lich, which I love that name, under New Ravagement is back from last year as well.
Ah.
And Gumsgang in the chat is saying he didn't have an issue getting keys either. So I guess it's basically your miles will vary on if you get key drops or not.
It depends on how friendly you are with the random number generator.
Exactly. So you go in those dungeons, and the ones from last year are a little quicker. The 2 new ones from this year are a little longer. They're still not super long, but they're a little longer than they were last year. And of course, once you finish those, you will get your ingredients. And then once you have enough ingredients, you step back outside of the graveyard, and the trader is there. He looks like a giant jack-o'-lantern. Can't miss him. And then you can pick your rewards. And they have all the rewards from last year are there. And then there are some new things, which the new things is the awesome, amazing-looking armor. If you have not seen this armor, you have to take a picture. I will put a picture of this in the show notes. It's also will be on the YouTube version. It'll be on the screen right now. That is the big thing I think everybody's getting this year. I've seen a lot of people running around, and that's called the Reaper's Plate. And it is cosmetic, so there's no stats on it. It's just cosmetic. And then there's also a Reaper's Helm that goes along with that. And then another new item you can get is the mini beholder. Of course, it's a Doomspear beholder, so it's an undead beholder.
Oh, of course.
I want. He's so awesome looking. And then there is a mask that is called Death Smile that kind of looks like just a skeletal grinning mask, which I kind of want that too. It's awesome. So there you go. That's what's new in this year's Night Rebels. I'm enjoying it still. I've been doing it a lot. We'll talk about that later in the show. But keys. Keys are the bane of my existence.
All right. Then I've heard, though, that there's also a new building in the marketplace.
There is also a new building over in Evening Star as well. If you go to, in the marketplace, if you go to where the airship access is, you will notice just to the left of the airship is a giant building with some purple banners. It's
okay.
Very mysterious. You can't click on it. You can't use it. No clue what it's for. And then over in Evening Star, just off of the marketplace area, there is a building over there. But this building, if you highlight over it, or actually if you pull your map up, it's listed on the map as the Harper's Travelarium.
Ooh.
So everybody is pretty sure this is going to be the adventure hub that was talked about in the producer's letter.
In other words, it's most likely something that's getting prepped for Update 34?
One would think. Turbine has not commented. There has been no blues that have commented on the thread on the forum about this. But everybody's pretty sure that's what this is. So what the speculation is you're going to go into this, and then you can jump to different quest areas and quest via this building with the help of the Harpers. But we don't know because Turbine's not saying anything. We'll see. More than likely, it'll be in 34 since the buildings are already here.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see. But yeah, it's just kind of weird. It just kind of appeared when Update 33 hit the live servers. I was running one of my characters. I was on my ship when I logged out. And then when I left my ship, I went to the marketplace because I was going to do something in the marketplace. And I stepped out and I'm like, what the heck is this building? And I'm looking around and I'm like, weird. And then I heard rumors of the same thing in Evening Star, so I had a character that was still logged in over in Evening Star, so I logged in, and lo and behold, here it was in Evening Star too. So it's a mystery. We'll see what happens, but all signs are pointing towards this is going to be the Adventure Hub.
All right, then let's head into the DDO Chronicle issue 211, where it looks like our screenshot at the beginning is from the Slave Lords.
Yeah, they have been ever since the Slave Lords came out, and they probably will be for a while.
Oh, I was expecting a Night Rebels thing.
Yeah, actually, I was too. I was surprised. Maybe this week we'll get Night Rebels, since when this Chronicle came out, Night Rebels wasn't active yet. So okay. I bet next week when we talk about the Chronicle, I bet we'll have a Night Rebels header. We'll see. Get on that, Cordovan. We're counting on you. In the community spotlight, we do have a poster by the name of Comic Relief. He put together a list of 100 reasons to love DDO. So click over and read all the 100 reasons. And I must say, he's got some awesome reasons in his 100 list. So check that out. The Order of the Silver Dragon is creating a new video and story series chronicling their travels in DDO. So click in and check out that new video series. I actually haven't had a chance to watch it yet, so I can't say anything about it, but I'm going to try to do that before next week's show. And then in our Fansite News section, the latest episode from DDO Cast is up. It is a talk about the different boots that you can get in the game with your guests Strimtom and Cordovan. So click over and give that a watch or a listen. Voodoo Spice created a brand new video explaining how you go about crafting legendary green steel and use the legendary green steel planner. So if you have some legendary green steel aspirations in your future, watch Voodoo's video. And also, Mickey is creating a guide to help you flag for the Titan raid. So click over and give that a read if you're a little confused on how you get flagged for the Titan. And also, Even Note is writing a song about hirelings. It's entitled Call Any Hireling. So
Call Any Hireling.
Click over and check out Even Note's brand new song. And then, of course, we also always have our Chronicle comment of the week. This week, it is, how do wizards know what time it is?
I'm trying to think if there's a tell time cantrip anywhere. But let's say that they don't have such a thing. I guess they'll have to just hold a magic wand up and see where the shadow falls.
Oh, so they'll treat their wand like a sundial. I see. Yeah. I see what you did there. Well, see, my answer is actually very obvious, which I'm surprised it was not your answer. Yeah. It doesn't matter what time it is because a wizard arrives exactly when he means to.
Well, there is that too.
So I'm disappointed in you, Pineleaf. You didn't take the Gandalf answer. You have disappointed me, sir.
Well, but not all wizards are as let's say epic as Gandalf is.
Okay, you do have a valid point there. And the last thing in our Chronicle this week, of course, is the screenshot of the week. And that is Narvjen takes a reading break in the 291st official DDO screenshot of the week.
All right. Then let's head into our store sales. Anything new and exciting, anything that will get us more loot on sale this week?
Actually, not on sale, but the free sample of the week through the 27th is the Lesser Treasure Hunters Elixir. You will get one of those when you use a coupon code HUNT4LOOT. That's HUNT, the number 4, and loot. LOOT. And as always, one per account. So choose wisely which character you use that on. And then you get 25% off select adventure packs and the Quest XP elixirs. And also do not forget the Night Rebels is back for a limited time, and that runs through November 6th.
All right, then let's head into our site news, and we'll begin with our screenshot of the week. And is this one more epic than the one from the Chronicle?
Not really. It's not bad, though. This one comes to us from Drac Barefeet, and he writes in, Ravensky frees a prisoner. I retired to steal Drac Blackhand's signet ring. The bounty hunter, Christina, had told me that she didn't have enough manpower to do it herself, but she thought I would be interested in helping her. Once inside, I came across a captured prisoner. I tried some witty banter, but even though Annalisa was thankful for the rescue, she was unimpressed by my halfling charm. Maybe we will meet again one day, and she will be more cordial. So thank you to Drac Barefeet for sending that in, and if you have a screenshot you would like to see featured on our site, you can send that to podcast@ddoplayers.com, and you too can have your screenshot featured on our screenshot of the week.
Very well, then let's head into Dungeonology, and you are reviewing this?
Yes, this is a new book that is coming out soon from Candlewick Press, actually, and kind of Wizards of the Coast a little bit. I mean, it's their IP, so it's written by Matt Forbeck, who that name should be very familiar to a lot of people. If you've ever read any of his Halo books, he's written books in the Guild Wars universe as well. He's written some Star Wars books, I think. So Matt Forbeck, awesome writer. This is mainly aimed at kids, but I didn't think this was just a kid's book, though. This is, and it's not meant to be a source book or a monster manual, but you could use it as such because they do have monsters in there. They have a great map. I did point this out in the review I put over on DDOplayers.com. The map that is in here is like a fold-out map, and it's amazing looking. And I can actually see using this map at the table when you're playing a game if it's set in the Sword Coast, because this is one of the best Sword Coast maps I have ever seen.
Ooh.
And then there's also other little things. There's a novice spell book in here because there's a section that talks about spells. You can see where this is kind of aimed at kids because this is like a pop-up book. There's like a lot of things that pop up. There's some pages that open, and then you can open the corner of the page, and it extends the page out. And there's a little extras in it, so it's great. The artwork and the writing is amazing. There is even a letter from Elminster at the beginning of the book, and you have to break the seal to get into the letter. So how cool is that?
Ooh.
So check this one out. This is going to be available November 8th, and it'll be available in bookstores, and of course Amazon has a pre-order up for it as well.
I just wonder what Elminster will do to you if you're not a dungeonologist and you break that seal.
Well, see, you are warned that only dungeonologists should break the seal, so I guess it's up to you if you want to chance it.
Ooh.
So check this out. Once again, it's called Dungeonology. It's available November 8th, and that is from Candlewick Press, and we appreciate them sending the review copy over.
All right, and you also have a review of a coloring book, Monsters and Heroes of the Realms. And is this a kid's coloring book or an adult coloring book?
I would say this is more of an adult coloring book because I did take some pictures of it so you can see. These pictures are pretty detailed line art.
Yeah.
I suppose an older kid could probably color it, but yeah, it's not like your typical 4 and 5 year old. Well, plus, the beholder would probably freak the heck out of a kid.
That does not look like a 4 or 5 year old coloring book in any way.
Yeah. This is basically monsters from various monster manuals. And the nice touch they did on this, there is a section in the back of the book that they tell you what book the monster came from. So if you actually want to go into, if you have some of the older monster manuals or you have the newest monster manual, you can turn to that page and you can see the stats on the monster as you're coloring it, if you so choose to. This is, and once again, artwork is amazing on this. It's black and white, of course, because you're supposed to color it. I would recommend using markers to color it. I don't think crayons would do it justice.
I thought that art pencils would be what you'd be using.
Ooh, I didn't think about art pencils, but yeah, that would look amazing probably with some art pencils.
No,
go ahead.
No, I remember one woman who was telling me, which is when I first learned, because I think it was about 6 months ago when she was talking about coloring books and the fact that these days coloring books are starting to become popular in the adult sector.
Yes,
and she's talking about the ultra deluxe pencils that she got for them.
Oh, really? I didn't realize they actually sold specific pencils now. But yeah, just within the past, I would say maybe year and a half, the adult coloring thing has really kicked off for some unknown reason. I don't really know why, but I'm seeing like adult coloring books everywhere now. So, and this book is available in bookstores. I think you can get this in some Walmarts as well. If you have a Walmart near you, they may or may not have this book. I know Candlewick Press did say that this book should be available in some of the larger chain stores as well. Our Amazon, of course, has it. And the great thing about the book is it's the MSRP on it is $10.99. So it's a fairly decent price. And I said in the review article I put up, this would make a great Christmas present if you're looking for a Christmas present for a D&D fan or a DDO fan, really, too. I think this would make a great Christmas present. And once again, a big thank you to Templar Books / Candlewick Press for providing us with a review copy. And the exact title of it is Monsters and Heroes of the Realms, a Dungeons and Dragons coloring book.
All right. It looks like the price at Amazon has gone up to $12.21.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Yeah.
It was like $10.31 when I put the review up. So.
Yeah. Those things sometimes fluctuate.
But still, I say that's a pretty decent price. So I mean, that's not bad considering some books are $20, $30.
Yeah.
$12 or $13 for a coloring book for an adult coloring book is not bad because I have seen, like you said, since that's like becoming the rage, I don't even remember what store I was in, and I saw a coloring book that looked pretty cool, and I was looking at it, and the thing was like $29.
$29.
And I'm like, I don't think so. I'll pass on your $30 coloring book. Thank you very much, though.
Very well. Then let's head into another review for Vast, the Crystal Caverns.
Do you like asymmetric board games? If you do, I have a board game for you. It would be Vast, the Crystal Caverns. This is an asymmetric adventure dungeon crawl game that knows what it is and sticks to what it is.
Sticks to what it is.
It really, really wants you to know it's an asymmetric board game. And the interesting thing about this is there is several different ways to play the game, though. You can play as the knight. You can play as a goblin. You can play as a dragon. You can play the thief. Or if you really want to, you can just play the cave. Yes, you heard me right. You can be the cave, and you can cause a cave-in to kill the people in the cavern if you want. Because what else would you do as a cave, right?
And I see what you mean by asymmetrical, because the player sheets for each of these are so completely different from each other.
Yep. And it's and the game changes with what person is there. Because if you have the knight and the dragon playing in the same game, the knight's trying to kill the dragon's trying to kill the knight.
Right.
If the knight or the dragon is not in the game that you're playing, there's some different rules that kick in. And the other interesting thing about it is with the player sheets, each player is basically playing on their own board. It's a tile-based game, and each player is building their own tiles out, all at the same time. Like I said,
okay.
It's an asymmetrical game. It knows what it is. It sticks to that. If you like asymmetrical games, check out Vast Crystal Caverns. You'll love this game.
All right.
It is available now from Leader Games. You can click over and go to Leader Games website, and thanks to them for sending us a copy.
Ooh. So let's head into what's coming in from the dungeon. And we'll begin with Volo's Guide to Monsters. And it's a really nice guide to monsters.
So far from the previews, what we've seen, it's going to be pretty awesome. This is the new... What this really actually is, Wizards of the Coast is not presenting it this way as such, but think of this as Monster Manual 2 for 5e. They're kind of doing a spin on it by having Volo is the one that's presenting this, so he's telling you about the different monsters that he's encountered in the Forgotten Realms. Well, of course, Elminster is adding his little 2 cents and saying Volo does not know what he's talking about. That's not exactly what it is.
Doesn't Elminster always say that about Volo stuff?
He does, yes. I was about to say, if you're familiar with the early Volo's guides, you'll know why they're doing this. This book is coming out on November the 15th. And Wizards of the Coast has put up a few previews to kind of get you excited about it. They're showing off the one of the newer Fire Giants variants that are in here, and it's called the Fire Giant Dreadnought. He looks like he's all spiky and armory. I don't think I would want to fight one of them, but you know. And then I think they have the ultimate monster ever. It's the Fail Snail.
The Fail Snail?
The Fail Snail. That's the name of it.
What, it failed to be a snail?
It kind of looks like a snail if you look at it, but it's kind of scary looking too. So I guess we'll see. And the other interesting thing, what Wizards is doing on this that I cannot remember Wizards ever doing this before, is they are doing a friendly local game store exclusive cover to this. So, and I put a picture up in the article on this. It'll also be on the YouTube version as well. If you want the cover with the Mind Flayer, you have to get it at your friendly local game store. That is the only place to get it. Everywhere else, Amazon, other online stores will have the regular cover version. So I cannot ever remember Wizards doing 2 covers for a book before. And one, as I said, exclusive to your FLGS. So check that out. This is, once again, Volo's Guide to Monsters, coming out November 15th from Wizards of the Coast.
All right, earlier we had a coloring book, and now it's time for a comic book for Pathfinder.
Yes, that sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? But yes, Pathfinder is moving into the comic book realm with a new series called Worldscape. And they are going to meet some people you might know, actually. Tarzan, they're going to run into Tarzan. They're going to run into Red Sonja. So if you're fans of either one of those, you want to check this out. This is actually available now. You can get it in comic book shops and also over at Paizo.com. And if you order it from Paizo.com, they have variant covers that are exclusive to them, which in comic books, variant covers happens a lot. So that's nothing out of the ordinary. So check it out if you're into Pathfinder and you're into comic books. Pathfinder Worldscape in stores now.
All right, Drac. Now, maybe you can answer a question for me.
I surely can try.
Why does Hasbro need their own convention?
Nobody knows, finally. We've been trying to figure that out since they teased it a while ago. It's probably been about a year since we talked about that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this idea came from Divine Providence?
I see what you did there. Very good, sir. Very good. Yes, it is now official. It's been rumored. There's been speculation. They registered some domain names, and everybody's like, aha! I see what they're doing with that domain name. Well, it's coming, folks. HasbroCon will be here September the 8th through the 10th of 2017. And where would you hold HasbroCon? In their hometown of Providence, Rhode Island. I mean, where else would you want a HasbroCon? And this is going to feature previews of Hasbro's TV shows, movies, panels, Hasbro gaming competitions, some exclusive products you can only get there, My Little Pony, Magic the Gathering, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and more. There was no mention of Dungeons and Dragons, though, so I'm assuming D&D is going to be there in some form, but in the press release Hasbro sent, there was no mention of D&D. All they talked about was Magic. But you would think they would. And next year, I cannot remember. Well, actually, they haven't really set a date for the new D&D movie yet. All they've said is it's in production. So I'm thinking this would be a good place to like launch a trailer or something for the D&D movie. I mean, Hasbro, think about it. You got a good built-in audience at your convention for that. So I guess we'll see. But I'm sure D&D will be somehow included in HasbroCon. Ticket information and such like that was not available at the time. That's basically all the press release said is, hey, we're doing a convention because we're Hasbro and we can. It seems strange to me. Don't understand why they're doing it. But, good for them, I guess.
All right. And then let's head into our next item. And do we really need an RPG based on Bluebeard's Bride?
Apparently, the fine folks over at Magpipe Games think we do.
Okay.
I was going to ask you if you knew what Bluebird's Bride was. I figured you of all
I
people would.
I saw an opera based on the story once.
Ah, okay. See, I had never heard of it, and when I was doing this article, I thought, I guarantee you Pine Leaf is going to say, oh yeah, I know that story. You want to give a quick little synopsis of what the story is, if you know?
Well, it's trying to remember that far back. It's 20 years since I saw that particular opera. But, all right, a woman recently, it's of course one of those woman very recently became married type things, and you have this command of something you cannot do in there. It's that sort of motif that's pretty common about this one thing you can't do. And, in fact, they had a little bit of that in Sound of Music even. And in the idea there is that she's forbidden to go into she can go anywhere in the house she wants, except there's this one particular room she cannot enter. And of course, you know how these stories always go.
Well, of course.
Of course. Eventually, you fall down to temptation. And exactly what's in there, I don't know. I have a feeling it varies from version to version of the story. It sounds like something that would.
And that is exactly what the RPG is. The game is based on that very fairy tale, I should say, where a young bride is wed to an older, powerful man with a blue beard. And on their wedding night, Bluebeard leaves, telling the bride she can explore the house freely, but one room is strictly forbidden. And of course, what does she do? She goes into that room. And all sorts of things happen. And inside that room, she finds the corpses of his brides from the past hidden within. So players players will take the role of the different parts of the bride's psyche, and they're calling the bride's psyche the sisters, which are going to invade her mind. And all sorts of horror and strange things will happen. And whichever sister at the time is holding the ring is in charge of what action the bride can take as she enters each of the different rooms of the house. And the sisters may suffer trauma, physical or mental, over the course of the game. And of course, if they receive too much, they shatter, driving the bride ever closer to full-on madness. This game is currently up on Kickstarter. It met its goal already, so they're doing those wonderful stretch goals. And as of this recording, they have 27 days to go. That is Bluebeard's Bride, a new horror tabletop RPG.
And another new RPG coming out is Open Legend, because, of course, we needed an open source RPG.
Of course we did. See, but what's going to drive people, and actually what has driven people to pledge on this Kickstarter, is I'm going to give you two names that wrote some stuff for this game.
Yes, and what are those names?
A one, Ed Greenwood.
Okay, that's enough to do it by itself.
Exactly. And a one, Matt Mercer. So you got your critters are rushing over to this because of Matt Mercer, and you have your D&D players running over for Ed Greenwood. So this is a RPG that's living up to its name. It's because it's truly open. The rules are going to respond and react to your narrative. It's not the other way around. So you can do whatever you want to do. And you're not tied down to a specific subset of character options either. You can do whatever you want for characters. There's ways that you can do whatever you want. The only limit you have in the game is your imagination. And of course, your GM can veto stuff too. If you want to do something that the GM thinks is too powerful, he's just going to say, nope, not happening. And the other thing, living up to the open name, is: are you tired of playing in the fantasy section, the fantasy genre? You want to do something sci-fi? You can go ahead and do it with Open Legend. Maybe you don't want sci-fi. Maybe you want something set in the Old West. You can do that too. You can do whatever you want. The game is truly, truly open. It's up to you as the GM and your players to do whatever you want to do. So this sounds pretty amazing, actually. And the Kickstarter for this also hit its funding goal within hours, actually. As of this recording, you got 26 days to jump in on this one as well. So if you're looking for an open source RPG where you can pretty much do anything you want, check out the Kickstarter for Open Legend.
And it looks like I'm trying to see the minimum to get the book version. I know the PDF starts around $20.
Yeah, the PDF is $20. The book,
I see it's at $55. That's the lowest, I'm sure of it.
Yes, $55 is the lowest for the actual printed book.
Right, so there's a campaign setting hardback book at $40. Let's see. Oh, Open Legends Core Rules is at $40. Okay, the 55 has both the campaign setting and the Core Rules book. Okay.
So they give you a deal if you want both. So there you go.
Right. And therefore, let's head on and see what's on the tabletop. And Fantasy Flight Games has announced a new Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition expansion. Oh, what a shock.
Yeah, exactly. And who didn't see this coming? Yes, even more horror is awaiting you in the brand new expansion for Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition, Beyond the Threshold. It's introducing 2 new investigators and 1 unfamiliar creature, and of course some new components and new scenarios to run through. coming out next year. No exact date was set in the press release, and no pricing. But judging by what the other expansions are, look for it to be about $80 retail, because that's what the other ones are. Fantasy Flight, seriously, $80 for an expansion? Anyway, I won't rant on Fantasy Flight and their pricing. Don't get me started on that. So, yes, more horror, more madness coming to Mansions of Madness.
All right. Then let's see. Betrayal in House of the Hill, Widow's Walk is now available. How long have we been waiting for that one?
Forever. Yes, it's actually out. Speaking of horror and ways to kill people in a house. And Betrayal at House on the Hill. If you haven't played it, you have to play it. It's a great, amazing game. And the expansion just adds to that. It is out as of last week. This is adding 50 new scenarios to run through. And there is also a special bonus mega hunt that is only going to trigger when the explorers have completed a certain specific haunt, or set of haunts, actually, sorry. So look for that in your friendly local game store, Amazon, basically anywhere you can buy games. Betrayal, House on the Hill at Widow's Walk. And also, look for a review coming soon. I'm not sure when. It'll be a couple weeks, but I'm going to actually review this. Looking forward to it, actually.
Ooh. All right. Then let's head into Mechs vs. Minions, which is now available from Riot Games.
And I know some people are going to be saying Riot Games. Why does that sound familiar?
Yeah, something about a Legends, right?
Yeah, they have some league about some kind of Legends or something. Yeah. Of course, Riot Games is the video game manufacturer that created League of Legends. Well, about maybe a month ago, I think the news broke. Just all of a sudden, they said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to create a board game."
Yeah,
and people were like, "What? So yeah, it's available now. It's called Mechs vs. Minions, and it's set in the League of Legends universe. It's not specifically tied to League of Legends, though. It's the story of the game is Rumble has invited some of his friends to his new school. However, things really are not working out quite as he would expect, and soon everyone's having to fight off a wave of minions that have run amok. Will you be able to stem the tide and save the school?
And that's the question. It comes in with quite a set of components.
Yeah.
The main characters, they are on fully painted minis, while all the minions, being just minions, are unpainted.
And the other thing that a lot of people are just like freaked out about is the price of this game, which comes with a ton of components. You will see soon, because I'm working on an unboxing video for this. You will see it soon. There is a just ton of stuff in this box. It's $75 is the price, and you can only order it direct from Riot Games. And there was a thread over on Board Games Geek on the Mechs vs. Minions page, so people were going, okay, Riot Games is selling this game for $75. Are like other companies ripping us off?
No, I think it's because Riot Games had cut out a major middleman in this entire process. That's exactly where the problems were, because as soon as they opened up that thing, there were a flood of orders, and their website was murdered.
Yeah, there was people complaining about that too. But yeah, Riot Games did respond to that, and they're saying the reason why we can do it at the $75 price point is because they're doing everything themselves.
Right.
If they would have to go through manufacturers and retailers, they're going to have to raise the price. And Stephen Bonacore of Stronghold Games looked at this, looked at the game, looked at all the stuff you got in it, and he said, if I did this game, I would have to charge at least $250 on this to make my money back easily.
Yeah.
So it's insane. Yeah. So like I said, there will be an unboxing video and a review coming soonish over on DDO Players. But check it out. It looks like a fun game.
Oh, yeah. And then Bears versus Babies. What?
Oh, yes. Of course, this will shock nobody when I say from the makers of Exploding Kittens. That's all you need to know. Exploding Kittens in the oatmeal. All you need to know about bears versus babies. This is a pretty simple card game. Players are going to draw cards from a collective deck, and then on your turn, you will play a card to either grow your monster or add to your army of babies. You can also provoke the babies to attack. If your monster is strong enough, then you can eat the babies and score the points. Yes. I said eat the babies. Bears versus Babies, a game from the creators of Exploding Kittens. Available now on Kickstarter, and just like Exploding Kittens, this game has exploded. Because if you go to the Kickstarter as of this recording, they have 24 days to go, and you do not even want to know how much money they have made so far.
Okay, I don't want to know that.
Yeah, it's... over 1 million. And
what?
They have 24 more days to go. So we'll see how high they can go. Yes. They are at 1,462,322 as of this recording. Yes, I said 1 million. That's a lot of zeros, my friend.
Yeah, that's a lot of zeros. All right, and let's go to the Master of Orion, the board game, which is to receive U.S. release from Cryptozoic.
Yes, this game is actually out in other parts of the world right now. So Cryptozoic is going to team up with Hobby World, who is a leading Russian publisher, and that's who actually owns the right to this, to do an American version of it. And of course, this is based upon the classic strategy video game Master of Orion. So if you're familiar with that, you pretty much will know exactly what the game is. It is a competitive tableau building game, and for 2 to 4 players. Look for this early in 2017 from Cryptozoic and Hobby World.
Then let's head into our week in gaming. And Drac, what have you been up to?
Well, let's see. Night Revels.
Yeah.
Night Revels.
Right.
Killed some skeletons and some liches in Night Revels.
Uh-huh.
And I did some Night Revels. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah, some Night Revels. Did I mention that yet? Yeah.
Oh, okay. What you mean? You decided to take a break from Grim and Barrett?
Well, I did run Grim and Barrett as well.
Okay.
Of course, I had to do my daily run of that and still not get the quiver. But, nobody shocked at that. And then pretty much everybody else. My Warlock is running Night Revels. My level 21 Ranger is now running Night Revels. I have a level 12 Rogue that is, spoiler alert, running Night Revels. Yes, so, yeah. Can't tell I'm grinding Night Revels, can you?
Nah.
Yeah, but now I'm at the point where I'm totally at the mercy of the RNG because I need keys. I'm out of keys. I got on the first day it opened, I took my Ranger out, and there was actually a LFG up for people that were just farming for keys, and I joined that group. And within the span, I was probably in that group for about 2 hours. I got 22 keys.
Wow.
So remember that when I say that I got 22 keys. Because since then, and that was on Thursday of last week, I've been playing every day for, I'm not going to mention how many hours. I've probably gotten 7 keys, maybe. So yeah, RNG keys are not kind to me. So yeah, I'm doing that. I need still more mats to get, I'm going for the Cosmetic Reaper Armor, the Beholder Pet, and I may or may not get Death Smile Mask. I haven't decided yet. And I may or may not get one of the negative level shards that will add a negative level effect on any weapon if it procs. I haven't decided that. I know for sure I'm going for the Doom Spear and the armor. So that's what I'm banking on right now. That's what I have. And I made a spreadsheet. Saba Jade's going to be so proud. I made a spreadsheet of how many ingredients that I need. So I'm keeping track of that. And I'm under, I think, 30 of all the ingredients to be able to get the Doom Spear and the cosmetic armor. But right now, I'm at the mercy of the RNG because I'm not getting keys anymore.
Out of curiosity, are keys character bound or are they account bound?
They're account bound.
Okay.
See, so what I did is since I got so many at the beginning, I kind of spread those out between all my characters so I could run a little pro tip for you. Even if you don't care about any of the items, you're not going to grind the mats out to buy the items. At least try to go out in the cemetery, get, if you've never ran it, get 6 keys. If you ran them last year, at least get 2 keys. Go into the new dungeons, because the first time you run the dungeon, you get experience for it. You get mega experience.
Experience.
They're worth running at least one time just for the experience. Even if you don't care about grinding to get the mats to get any of the trade-ins, run them at least once to get the experience. But pretty much in game, that's all I've been doing is just Night Rebels. If you see me in game, I'm out in Delairs or I'm in one of the dungeons. That's my life pretty much until I get enough mats. We'll see.
All right.
The only other thing I did, tabletop-wise, of course, I did my weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5e tabletop with my friend and his kids. We are continuing our Storm King's Thunder adventure. They actually completed the first section of the adventure, so they are moving into the next section. Funny story. Remember how I said last week I managed to kill one of his kids off, actually.
Right.
So he created a new character. He created a wizard. He was all proud of himself because he's like, I can shoot fireballs. I can do all this. The first combat they got into, I almost killed him.
You almost killed him.
He was down doing death saves. Poor kid never even got to fire off a spell. He was so disappointed.
What?
He's like, but I didn't even get to shoot a fireball. I'm like, well, sorry. Yeah, the first combat, they were fighting some orcs. The orc actually got a critical hit on him.
Ouch.
And being a squishy wizard, that was enough to take him down, so he was doing his death save. So, poor kid. So yeah, I didn't kill him though. But so the party actually advanced to level 3. Other than him, he's now level 2 because that was the first time he ever did anything with the party. They met him and decided if they were going to trust him enough to let him join their party, and they eventually did. He convinced them why he was there, and so yeah. So he's level 2, everybody else is level 3, so they're moving on into the cave section of the story, if you are familiar with Storm King's Thunder. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So what were you up to, finally? Did you do any Night Rebels?
No.
Oh, spoiler alert, finally didn't do Night Rebels.
Yeah, in fact, I had forgotten to do the upgrade until yesterday. It's like when I finally remembered, oh yeah, I was supposed to upgrade DDO, wasn't I? I did do Sansa Minecraft with Drac on our gnome team, where we did Chains of Flame, where we had the most suicidal group of hirelings yet.
Yeah, those hirelings were insane.
Yeah.
My cleric got confused that she was a cleric, and if I kept her on aggressive, she would just haul off. And at one point, she had to be halfway through the dungeon. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you doing? Seriously. And then I think you had a favorite soul that wasn't quite as bad as my cleric, but your favorite soul was a little suicidal too. So I don't know what was going on with the hirelings in there. They were just out for blood. They were like, I mean, they were just blowing by us like we weren't even in the dungeon. They're like, I got this. Stand back. Let me do all the work. And we're like, okay then. So yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Right. And that's just what I did in DDO because I spent a lot of the week in Lotro because while, yes, we did have the release of Night Rebels 2, Return of Night Rebels, it was also the same week where we had the Update 19 for Lotro, and I was going out around the Pelennor Fields and in North of Dillian and doing all sorts of questing there. On Mansions of Madness, I completed my first scenario of that, which is the same scenario that they did on Watch It Played, and the same scenario that they did on that was done by Black Belt Gaming. And in fact, after I finished it, now I'm watching Black Belt Gaming's run through of that so I can see how he did. And I can see how each of them is different in how they play out. So it's the same scenario, but each of them has their own distinct way in which they play out.
Now, are you using the Steam version of the app, or are you using the iOS version of the app?
Steam version.
Okay. Because I've heard the Steam version tends to crash a lot. Have you experienced any crashes with it?
See, the only time I recall having a crash is when I was doing all sorts of other stuff on the system at the time, and I don't think it was a good time to play it anyway. But outside of that, I have not seen any crashes. Though it could be a lot of those reports came because there have been a few updates on the Steam version since then.
Okay, well that might be fixed then. I know when it first came out, people were complaining about it. It was crashing a lot.
Yes. I don't think I tried it until after I saw a couple of updates on there and their patch notes always talked about fixing crashes. So I would presume that most of them have been repaired.
I would think so.
All right. And in this one, I think I did pretty well because I managed to survive, sort of. One of my characters did go a little loopy.
Which is their want to do in Mansions of Madness. So.
Yes, right.
You know, the whole Cthulhu thing and all, yeah, you know.
Yes. So I managed to complete the primary objective, but one of the characters technically lost because, well, she didn't complete the extra objective that her insanity gave her. So, therefore, that's the type of things that can happen in Mansions of Madness, of course. And then my other thing is I played through the tutorial scenario for Mechs and Minions, Mechs versus Minions. And that went well because now they only learn the most basic things. And they sort of, I think, add components gradually in this one. So the first one is just, all right, let's start by killing a few things. Now we'll add some minions and starting to get the idea of how this game operates. And in some ways it feels like a cooperative version of Robo Rally.
I have seen other people say that as well, too, actually, yeah.
And in fact, that's one of the things that attracted me to the game is because I'd always been a great fan of Robo Rally. It's probably still my favorite Richard Garfield game.
It was a good game. I will give you that.
Right. The only problem is it didn't work well as a co-op.
True, yes.
Right. So I'm enjoying that, and I'm looking forward to playing a few more of the more serious scenarios and seeing what this thing has to offer. We currently have 24 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us here on DDO Players News. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculata @Draculata_72, and Pineleaf @Pineleaf News. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every Thursday at 9 p.m.-ish U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Players News. And on the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Academy After School. You can join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that's all we have for tonight. This is Pineleaf News reminding you to quest responsibly.